Hey, what's up guys? Ben Clark here for Adapt to Perform. In today's video I'm going to be unboxing and give you my first impressions of this, the SMOOV One. So for the past few years, electronic attachments for wheelchairs are becoming increasingly more popular. Whether that's the front wheels like the Baytech or the Tri-Ride or the Firefly or various different ones like that, or whether it's the ones that fit inside the hubs of the wheels, like the E-Motions or the Twions, or the rear one like the Smart Drive. Now each of these have their pros and cons and they work well in different situations. But today I'm going to be unboxing this, which is the SMOOV. Now the SMOOV is one of those rear wheel options. Now at the moment that market is dominated by one name, which is Smart Drive, and there's not really been any competitor to it as far, but along has come what I think is a true competitor to this, so I'm going to be unboxing that and showing you today. Now I will say, full disclaimer, I am being paid to do this, so you can take whatever I say with a grain of salt, but hopefully you trust me enough to think that I'm going to give an honest review, which I will be giving my honest review as I go through it. But today this is just an unboxing and first impressions and seeing what it's like. So yeah, let's get on with that. Okay, so let's get on with the unboxing. So first of all, let's have a look at the box itself. It comes very nicely presented in this box. You've got the products on the front. On the top here, we've got the picture of the wheel, we've got the control unit, we've got the charger, and we've got a USB-C cable. As I say, we'll have a look at what some of these mean, because this has some really interesting features that's very unique to this item. On this side, we've got some of the information. So it's saying we've got speeds up to 10 kilometers per hour. That's about 6 miles per hour. Range up to 20 kilometers per hour. That's about 18-ish, I think. And we've got a slope, which is about 16% slope. So when we're going uphill, that's how much we can go up before it doesn't really work properly anymore. And then the weight of it is 7.2 kilograms. Now, that might sound quite heavy because it's probably about the weight of most lightweight wheelchairs, but because it's in such a small form factor, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but we'll see when we get through it. And then on this side, we've got just standard back panel, and here we have got the app. Now, the app doesn't control it, but it does give you some really cool information. So I've already downloaded it and have a look through. We've got the battery level, so that's really handy, so you don't have to look down at it, you can just use your phone. Gives you like your speed in whatever unit you want, or how much distance you've gone, and then we've got different types of drive modes, so that's different speeds and whatnot. And then when you go through the app as well, it's got some other really cool things like how far you've gone in that distance. It does have some navigation modes, but we'll go through that at a later date. Okay, so let's get into the box itself. Let's slide this bad boy down. Okay. So as I said, really nice packaging on the outside. Let's see if this continues on the inside. So just flatten it up. Very nice indeed. So first thing I noticed was this big blue bit that says ready, steady, go. I think it really makes a difference when a company puts a lot of effort into their packaging, because it really means they care about what they're selling. And the other thing is, it's got some very good insulation foam, so if you're worried about it being damaged in transport, I don't think you're going to have that issue with this stuff here. So first thing, again, we've got a nice big book that's going to be a nice bedtime reading, but not for me, because I'm a man and we don't read instructions. And then more insulation, which is good. This could be useful if you need it in the future. And then we have got the actual wheel itself. Can't really lift it up, but yeah, it's very nicely packaged in here. This foam's a little bit harder, so it's going to be, again, I don't think this is going to get damaged at all on transportation. And then inside here we have got the wheel itself, and then we've got the controller here, and we've got the charger, and I assume somewhere in here is the USB cable as well. So let's pull out. Try and pull this out. So I think I'll pull this out and then I'll show you what it's like. Okay, so getting out of the box was a little bit tricky for me. I think that was probably more down to my hand function than the weight of it. I don't think it's particularly awkward. It's just that getting out, because I haven't got the great hand function, getting the hand underneath this handle wasn't too easy. So if you are a quadriplegic or you've got any sort of hand issues, you might find it a little bit difficult getting out of the box. But we'll find out whether that's going to be a problem long term. It's just something to think about. You might need some help getting it out. Okay, so what we got in the box was, this is a USB-C cable, which we'll move on to that a little bit later, because I know what that one's for. And then we got the charge cable. Now, the charge cable, so this was direct from Germany, so I've got a European adapter, not a UK one. I'm not sure if they're going to plan on doing that. I'll find out for you guys. But if you are buying it soon and they don't have a UK adapter, make sure that make sure you've got one ready, or whatever country you're in, so you can have it adapted onto the device here. So this is the control unit. So this attaches to your wheelchair here, and this is how we get it started and stopping. I don't think you need to, it's just starting it and then you let go of it. You don't have to use it all the time, but we'll go through that in a minute. And then onto the actual unit itself. Now, as I said, at the moment, Smart Drive dominates this market. They have quite a unique wheel design where the wheel goes that way and that way. So the wheel itself doesn't turn, but the tyre on, it's very hard to explain, but you've probably seen it. But instead, this one is a lot more of a simple design, which is probably better for some reasons and not so good for others. But in terms of simplicity and probably being able to replace it and repair it, this is probably a lot easier to do. So big fat tyre at the back, which is going to give you a bit more grip, which is probably going to be better. We've got, and it swivels on a point here. So that's probably where most of that weight comes from, is because you've got this big, heavy swivel unit. So quite a lot of the weight's down the bottom, which is actually probably not as bad as you think it would be. You think, oh, light is better, but in terms of traction, the heavier wheel is probably going to be a better thing. Moving on now, if I turn this unit on, you'll see that we've got a light flash on. So this is the integrated brake light, and it's beeping at me as well. So the brake light means that when you're at night that you're a bit more visible, which for some people, you know, if you're around about quite a lot and it gets dark, that could be a really helpful thing. Then moving on up, here we've got like a little thing here, if I could flap that up. So I haven't got the best hand function, so if I can flip that, no, well, we'll get back to that bit. Okay, so we move around and we've got on here, we've got the power on button, as you can see on green. We've got a battery level, so the battery level just shows you how much you've got. You've got some more bits and pieces, but overall, and then the handle itself, sorry, and then that clips on. But we'll get through to that bit in a minute, how it all attaches. So overall, it's a pretty good looking piece of equipment. Now, as I said, it's a little heavy, but I think that's actually more of a positive when it's going. But we'll find that out as we go through. But I think it's a very smart looking product. That's something that Alba, the company that owns this SMOOV, they do make very good looking things. This is more of a premium product, I would say. It's more on the higher end of things. And it definitely shows in its presentation. So yeah, top marks to them for a nice box and a nice looking design. But the truth is, we need to know how it works really, don't we? So what I'll do, I'll get it all set up and then we'll see how it goes. At this point in the video, I was going to show you how I put the clamps onto the chair. Now the clamps are the things that stay on permanently and that the SMOOV attaches to and the control unit to. But in reality, you're probably going to be buying this through a dealer, and if you buy it through a dealer, they are going to be able to fit it for you, and that's probably part of the service they provide. So instead, I am going to show you a little bit of the clip of the YouTube video that I watched. This is from SMOOV's actual YouTube page. I'll put the link down in the description so you can go and find it yourself. Alright, so I've spent about an hour with this wheel now, and I wrote down while I was doing this a few of the things that I like, and I've written some things that I'm going to look into further. Now this video is purely just like the unboxing and sort of my first thoughts. I am actually taking this on a bit of an adventure, really. The great thing about this chair, so the first is that you can actually take this one on a plane because the battery is small enough that you can take it on, which you can't do with some of the other electric wheel attachments. So that's a really great positive. Yes, I'm taking this to Bali, so really going to put it through its paces out there. I'm going to use and abuse it and try and test its limits as such. You know, there's no better place than Southeast Asia probably to do that. So yeah, you're going to see in my full review, which will be in another video, what that's all about. So that's going to be pretty fun. But in terms of what I've thought so far, just over the last couple of hours, is first of all, I really like the design of it. I think it looks really cool. Quite a lot of disabled equipment can look really horrible, really. Bad colours, bad design, just sort of doing the job. I like something that looks good as well as doing the job right. And that's something that Alba, the company, I think they do better than anybody else at the moment, especially in the electronic wheels department. So yeah, really, really like the design. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the lights. You know, you got that rear brake light, LEDs. You know, it's very 2019. It's very cool. I think it looks a little bit like K9 from Doctor Who, but like a modern version. So that's pretty cool. Big chunky wheel at the back. That looks really cool too. In fact, when I was out, somebody said, "Hey, that was really cool." So he looked like that guy knew what he was on about in terms of cool as well. So the other things I like is I showed you on the chair how minimum like the bits are. So the brackets to get on and off. That means the wheelchair is still as light as possible. So say I'm out and about and I want to take this in the car, roll up to the car, I take the wheel off the back, and it doesn't add that much weight. It probably adds about 0.5 kilogram, if that, to the weight of my chair. So transferring the chair in and out is going to be a lot easier. Other things I like the speed and like the controls of the speed. So this is a control unit here. Another good thing is that it clips on and off easily, so you don't have to transfer over it or that. But the speed is a nice speed. It's not too aggressive. It's not too slow. It's that right sort of walking pace, and you can control it quite incrementally by just turning the dial forwards or backwards, depending on what you want to do, speed-wise. But yeah, it felt good, the speed. It wasn't, you know, I've been on some before, and it's just like power straight away, and you're like, whoa. And yeah, this is a good sort of compromise there. The other thing is, at the beginning, I showed what this flap does. So underneath this flap is actually a charger for your mobile, which is a really cool thing if you think about it. Again, very, very modern, very 2019. It's a USB-C port. So for me, with my phone, that's actually perfect because I got a USB-C charger. But you can buy USB-C to iPhone, Apple, iPhone, Google Pixel, Samsung, all of those phones. You can get that. So that's really cool having that. What else did I like? The brake light, as I said, all the lights in there. And the other thing, I really like the app. The app is what an app should be, which is simple and to the point. There's no fancy features on it. Nothing too outrageous. It just does the stuff that you need it to do, which is great. So having a really simple app. In terms of so there wasn't really anything that I disliked as such. It's things that I want to look further when I do my full review. So the one thing I want to look at is controlling it as such. So this is when you turned it on and you're pushing. It tends to like push you in whatever direction you go in. So you have to control it, and I think that's more of a learning curve thing rather than a actual negative as such. Like you have to learn how to work with it. And also I thought the next bit is that I'm probably going to need gloves with this. When you're pushing the wheelchair, slowing down. If you've got hands that work, then I don't think that's going to be an issue as such. But pushing, and slowing down and steering the wheelchair, and because when you've got this going, you're kind of more like steering it rather than actually like moving it. If that makes sense. So you're steering it with the wheels like you would if you were in a wheelchair. Kind of like if you were going downhill, so it's kind of that kind of feeling. So I think a pair of gloves or something just to slip over the thumbs, just to protect those a bit, is something that I'm going to have to look into. The one probably majorish drawback I would say is that it's quite a heavy unit. I did say in the beginning that I didn't think it was going to be too much of an issue, but it was quite difficult to get it on and off the chair and get it on and off the ground. So I imagine this wouldn't be so much of an issue if you had your hand function and you were fairly active and strong, because, and I put here as well, the actual handle here, it's a little bit uncomfortable to put your hand under, and because I haven't got that grip, I can't quite get it. It slips out quite easily, I found. So, but that's probably more to do with my disability, I would say, rather than the actual design of it. It's not ridiculously heavy. It's just a bit on the heavy side compared to maybe what you're used to. Last thing is that, yeah, the attaching it on and off the wheelchair. I couldn't do it while I was in the wheelchair, which was a little bit annoying. But again, that might be something that takes practice. If I find out a way, I'm sure I'll find out a way when I'm trying to use it in Bali. Yeah, so those are the things that I sort of noticed about it. But I'm really looking forward to getting this started and using this more and more. I think this is going to be interesting, especially for you guys who are maybe interested in this. Maybe you've looked at the competition, but I think that it's interesting. It's great to see competition in this market, especially. The more competition there is, the better this market will be, and I think that benefits all of us. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to know anything about this product, I'm going to put all the links you need to know down below. Or you can ask me questions. I'm happy to answer anything that I do know the answer to down below. I don't know the answer to everything because I'm learning it as I go as well. But if you do need to know anything, please feel free to message me down below. But for now, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video and you're excited about it, make sure you give thumbs up. Let me know how it went. And make sure you subscribe to the channel for more things like this. Okay? So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Not sure exactly how it works yet, but we will... I guess that's how it works. Don't do that.